Good morning. Look at that beautiful rainy view right there. That's actually the beginnings of an ice storm, I believe. I was delivering at a Walmart, but it wasn't a Walmart delivery. It was a construction. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Walmart has um, they've they're changing a lot of their stores fixtures, right? So what they do is, and you can tell when a store's getting ready to do that, they'll have all these containers out in the parking lot like they do around Christmas. And well, you've got trucks that deliver. And the tricky part is you're going into Walmart's that their parking lots may not be set up for the trucks. You know that there's a certain path you take if you go into a Walmart. You know, Pigtail knows all about this. But some Walmarts they don't want the big trucks in there, so they kind of want you corralled in a certain area. Well, these containers are outside of that normal area, so you gotta really be on your A game when you're driving through a Walmart parking lot. And there's a higher risk of incidents. You know, I know a driver that nailed a vehicle in a Walmart simply just trying to turn around in the parking lot. So it's anyways. I was making one of those deliveries and I was on my way home, and that's what that GoPro footage is from. That's before the ice storm was just starting to hit. It was hitting the windshield wet, but you could tell it was starting. I think it was shortly after this video clip went out that it started to get slick. But anyways, good morning. I'm sure you didn't care about that, but hey, what do you know? What do I know? So get in control of your feelings if you don't like what I tell you. I know that's kind of an a-hole thing to say, right? But anyways, good morning. We're live. I got a lot of good responses from the recorded video I did yesterday, so I appreciate that. Um, so we're going to try to make it a habit because, you know, dispatching, especially the amount of trucks I got now, it's I'm entrenched in this, right? This is my world now, and meanwhile, my APU goes off in the truck, and I've got to get in it every now and then and start it up and reminisce of the smell of diesel. You know, there are parts of it I miss and parts of it I don't miss, and sometimes being isolated here at home, I know that I need to have a realistic grasp of what's going on out there because so I've got eyes and ears out there. I know that fuel shortages have come up in certain places. Every now and then, I'll have a driver that goes to a truck stop where there's only one or two pumps working because they're low on fuel. Um, I have people that call me struggling. I mean, you have people with $250,000 rig setups right now that are struggling to scrape two pennies together, not realizing that their business plan uh, probably wasn't the strongest. So I mean, it's it didn't account, and it's hard to account. Look, creating a business plan for a trucking business is pretty difficult. You're at the mercy of the river, right? You're at the mercy of the water, and if it's flowing good, you're doing good. If it's not flowing good, then every now and then you got to pick up the canoe and walk to the next body of water. It's a good analogy for all you floaters, right? So anyways, we'll do some shout outs. We got 29 people in here. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate all of the members. And if you're a member, please email me your address and you will get a couple of gifts in the mail. So, as a thank you for being a member, if you so desire. Mr. Charles, good morning. Red Diesel, how are you? Pigtail, good morning. Dennis, what's up? Sterling, good morning from Webb City, Missouri. Almost go time. Wow, cool. Yeah, you're going into the caves there, right? Sterling, if you got a minute and you come through town, come through Springfield, I don't know where you're going from Carthage, but if you come through Springfield, we'll hang out for a minute. Fate Trucking, what's up? Trucker for Life, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Patrick, good morning. CDN, good to see you. Pam, what's up? Daryl Worth, for sure, containers can trap you. Well, it's the cars. It's the cars that can trap you in the parking lot, because people park their cars. They don't care what your situation is. So James G, good morning. Love those Walmart locations with the giant bar set at 11 foot. Yeah, it there's a Walmart that's off of I-30 in Arkansas that used to have actual truck parking, and I remember pulling in there. And this is when this is my early years, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" It's when I first got my cooler and realized that this junk food was going to kill me. So I was trying to eat healthy, and whenever you find a Walmart that has truck parking, man, you kind of treasure it, right? Because not all the Walmarts are set up like that, especially in Arkansas. There's one in Fort Smith that still allows trucks. But a lot of them, did away with it. And I remember that day looking at all the trash in the parking lot. I'm like, man, they're going to take this away. And sure enough, they put those 11-foot bars up. And it's one of those Walmarts that you can see from the interstate. So I remember a few years ago there was a time that I was driving by and the 11-foot bars were gone and there were trucks parked there again. I'm like, wow, cool. Maybe they changed managers. And then the bars are back up. So when you can find a Walmart that doesn't have the 11-foot bars, you're in pretty good. Now, other Walmarts, like in Georgia, what they like to do is they like to put boots on the tires and say, hey, yeah, you weren't supposed to park here, and they hold your truck at ransom for their $500 to $1,000. And management's in on that. So, because sometimes I've heard of drivers calling the manager, hey, can I park there? Yeah, if you're just shopping, and then next thing you know, they're in there for an hour and they got a boot. So you have to really watch it. Greg, good morning. How are you? Sam I Am, what's up? Sage News Live, what's up? Tolga, good morning. See, Nani Luke, what's up? Most people got into trucking without an exit plan. That is true. That is true. The Mac Brick, good morning from Nebraska. What's up, Mr. James Best? Utah Trucker, what's up? Good morning. So Sterling brings up a good point. So, sometimes you just got to drive for 2 years, right? And then figure it out. So that's why I always recommend people become, work as a company driver for, 2 to 4 years. It'll definitely give you an advantage. Can it be done fresh out of school? Yeah, but you're learning tenfold, right? So experience is a huge element of success. Now, with that being said, I know a lot of very experienced drivers that don't know jack about anything. So there's that too. So you have to be willing to learn. And of course, there's a saying in trucking that the day you stop learning is the day you need to hang up the keys, and that's absolutely true. Exit plans. If you're one of these people that like for example, I'm not in this category, but I easily could have been. But I'm second generation truck driver. My dad was a truck driver. I wanted to do it since I was a little kid. The only thing that kept me from doing it was age, and then after that, I started a family and all that stuff. And it wasn't until later that I became a truck driver after my dad passed away, so I could even utilize his experience, as much as I could have if I was driving while he was still alive. But I did have an edge over everybody at the CDL school. I did have an edge because of my knowledge. I did have, and I credit that to partially to my success. And I surrounded myself with good people, and try to get rid of the negative Nancy's. And but had to take a bit of humble pie, humility, if you will, when I started dispatching myself. Realized that this isn't the easiest thing. There are more problems than you realize, and there are more situations that you realize. But the point is, I had, essentially from when I became a truck driver to before, fresh out of high school, I had time to develop other careers, such as welding and as a school bus driver and all that stuff. And my original plan was to do 2 years of OTR and then find a day cab job. Well, that never panned out because the day cab jobs, because guess who also has that plan? Everybody else. And so I discovered that, what, if I'm going to go further with this in my career, I need to go the owner op route where I could self dispatch. I could have control over what I did. And by keeping my costs low, I recognized then by keeping my costs low, I don't become a slave to the truck, because I was not going to become a slave to the truck or slave to your stuff, slave to your house payment, slave to your fancy toys at home or your expensive hobbies. You don't want to be a slave to those things as well. And, and that strategy has worked. So to the people that have over $200,000 invested in their truck and trailer, God bless you. May the force be with you. However you want to do it. That's, I I could not do that. Because that I don't know, it keeps me awake at night thinking about that kind of debt. And that's the thing with exit plans. You gotta, if there's an exit plan to get out of the truck, that's one thing. But an exit plan, a financial exit plan, like, you can't just like, oh, here bank, here's the truck back, sucks to be you. You can't do that, without some major repercussions. So I mean, it's it's a part of the game, right? So yeah, having an exit plan is definitely um, important. But maybe if you're young, if you're in your early 30s and you're doing this as a career, you're doing this as a owner operator, you may not be thinking 10, 15 years down the road. But I do recommend having a 5-year plan. And right now, this is part of my 5-year plan. So there's going to be a transition period where I finally, eventually get out of the truck. So, Mr. Charles, it's not always the Walmart managers, it's the landowners, because most Walmart stores release property. That is true. Dale Mallory, what's up, man? What's up? Let's see, CDN. How often does an owner operator run their net worth? It can help you make better business decisions. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. But I do agree with the statement about drivers not cleaning up and messing up a good thing. Let's see, part of the game, exit plan. Yep, the game is going to finally finish at one point. I know James Best has talked about, his fears of dying in the truck, right? And, he and I have had lengthy discussions about that back in the day, when he and I were in the truck. And it's and look, that's why health is important, to take care of it, because you don't want to have a situation. I have a friend that ended up driving his truck and trailer up to the emergency room in the hospital. He just parked his truck as where he out of the way in the hospital parking lot and literally collapsed in the ER. I mean, how many of you dealt with food poisoning or the flu or the 19 thing in the truck by yourselves? It's not fun. It's not a great feeling. I think that one of my biggest fears is dying alone. When our friend passed away last year, she was surrounded by friends and family. And I think that's it's kind of selfish for me to think that, but that's kind of how I want to go. I don't want to die in the back of a Kenworth in some rest area, in the middle of nowhere, and that could potentially happen. So is it part of the life? Yeah, it's part of the life of being a truck driver. But as things progress in the trucking industry, and you could see some writings on the wall with the economy and with the government regulations on trucking and the autonomous vehicles and electric vehicles and the all-out war on old diesel trucks. The glamour is kind of disappearing for me, anyways. And so an exit plan um, became important. And Jeff gave me an opportunity, and I stuck it out, and here I am. So, and the dispatch is going well. It's getting to the point that I probably can't take on any more people as far as dispatch, because I want to do quality, not quantity. So what's up, John? I got food poisoning in California, and I called DISA. Big Houston, I forgot to say hi to you. Short haul only. I don't want to ruin a first responders day ever, right? Plan for the worst, hope for the best, right? And look, that's it's the saying, have it, not need it, and need it, not have it. Kind of that falls under the category too. So I mean, it's it's part of the game, right? And so having an exit plan, if you don't have any other skill sets, um, you literally have a ton of free time. Stay off the phone, stay off the Zello, stop watching, YouTube's going down the road, and pick out an audiobook and learn things, figure things out when you're parked, watch YouTube videos of things that, learning to do things for yourself, do it yourself projects, or, how to do this, how to do that. You never know, you might be able to fix your own brakes, you might be able to fix your own shocks, you might be able to, make an improvement to your truck that won't cost you an arm and a leg in the shop. So or there might be some relationship advice that you need, so you watch stuff about that. Or you might want to focus on your health. I mean, you have all this free time ahead of you. How many truck drivers do you talk to that go, oh, I haven't had time? Well, no, but you sat there and watched TikTok for 2 hours. There's 2 hours, right? um, and you have this tremendous ability with the internet to learn. And and that's your biggest commodity. It's not your truck, it's not your trailer, it's not your house. Your biggest commodity, the most expensive thing on your person, is your time. You don't get the time back. You don't get time back with the kids. You don't get time back with the spouse. You don't get time back with your hobbies. And so balance is important. I mean, that's balance is important. And yes, starting other streams of income, right? Dispatch, I thought, needed medical attention. Lucky. Dispatch, I thought I needed medical attention. Lucky it passed. Passive income, absolutely. My plan is to be out of drinking by the time I'm 60 years old. Out of drinking or trucking? Oh, there you go. Out of the truck by the time you're 60 years old. Well, we definitely have those opportunities here, right? Truck for life. Morning, Shannon. What's up? Exit plan, because your health can fail even if you do everything right. If you lose your med card, what then? And pigtailhead is an extremely important element that a lot of people don't think about. I mean, you could be the best budgeter. You can have your finances on the A game. You could be the best business person that you could possibly be. A down market happens, you just shrug it off. A good market happens, you're rolling in cash. Things get real tight, you have no problem. Truck breaks down, you're down for a month. Easy, piece of cake. But then your medical card goes away. If you're 400 pounds or 300 pounds plus, and you lose your medical card because of diabetes or ailments, any other ailments, doesn't matter how good you'll be able to survive as far as like financially, because you've got it in the bag. You've got this A game, right? But the A game has to bleed over to your life, your health. I mean, and I'm evidence of that. I'm evidence of that it can be done as a truck driver. Don't believe me? Go watch video from 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm playing. My plan is to be out. You're having trouble typing, aren't you? Trucker Jason, good morning. Donnie Luke, almost 20 years in trucking, and more often than not, I wish I never got into it. I mean, you have to look inside, Donnie, that when a person says that, and I've said that myself, although I haven't been in the game for 20 years, you start reflecting. Sometimes that solitude works for you, and sometimes it works against you. And so your mind can look. There's a mantra that I've adopted, and it's called "Make your mind your friend." How many times have you been just sitting there thinking, driving down the road, nothing going on, CB's quiet, your phone's quiet, you're just listening to a song or something, and then your mind starts to wander. You start to get the what ifs, or you're on the phone with your wife and she didn't sound happy or something, and it kind of gets your mind wandering. Your mind can be your mind is your worst enemy at times, many times. And that solitude will allow you to dwell on the negative as much as the positive. And I had to develop strategies to deal with that. Once I started cleaning up my diet, I really had to dive into my mind because it was clearing up, and there was a lot of things that didn't sit right with me, but then I made them right. And you look back and like, oh man, I could have been a better father to my son. I could have been a better father to my daughter. I wasn't there all the time, but I had it pretty good as a truck driver goes, because my dad was out months at a time. And look how I turned out. So I mean, and we have a huge problem of a fatherless society that's creating a lot of problems right now. So I mean, it's those are the things I dwell on. But then you have to, the mantra is make your mind your friend. Make my mind my friend. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have. Everybody in your life can leave you. And you can lose everything: your house, your job, your car, your dog, your pickup truck. You can be a complete country song, right? The only thing you got left is your health and your mind. And if you don't take care of that, then it's a wrap. It's just a matter of time before you do something destructive or self-destructive. And having a clear mind is what allows you to create the exit plan, create the 5-year plan, create the strategies that make you successful in any business. You can be 6'1" and 220 pounds, but get hypertension, diabetes, etc. Don't have to be overweight necessarily. That is absolutely true. Some of the new trucks, you can't work on it. They're so computer relays. Plus, you can avoid them, and that's by design, John. That's by design. Oh, I go into very dark places out here sometime, and that look. So did I. So I do. I still do at times. So there are times when I'm like, you know what? F the world, man. And I'll have a Colorado Bulldog and call it a day, right? I do not regret getting into trucking one bit. This industry has changed my life to the positive in many ways. So it's and Mr. Charles points out it's perspective, right? So it's just a matter of creating strategies, just like you do for your business, creating strategies to deal with your the times that you're going to be in those dark places. So I'll give you a perfect example. If you look at mental health or mental episodes like you do epilepsy, epilepsy, the person has their seizure, and you know it's coming, and you just put them in a safe area. You make sure that they don't swallow their tongue, and you just make sure that they're not hitting themselves against, they're hitting their head against the ground or whatever. And then it has to pass, right? And then once it passes, you take care of the person, and I've dealt with that. I've dealt with that. Mental episodes are the same way. Just like hunger can come and go as well. You feel hungry, but you're trying to do intermittent fasting. That those feelings will pass. Same thing with the mental stuff. If you find yourself getting in dark places, learn to recognize that and then have strategies to deal with that. And but like Mr. Charles, I do not regret getting into trucking. I regret getting into trucking later in life. I wish I could have done it earlier, but then I wouldn't have the lovely wife or the awesome kids I have if I would have gone into trucking early, because I'm not a great social person, believe it or not. I wasn't the kind of guy that can go meet singles in a bar. I was never that guy because I don't know, I'm not outgoing enough. I'm not fake enough to go to a meat market type bar and score. Um, must be in there now, or I wouldn't even mention it. LOL. Just developing strategies. I used to listen to comedy shows, with the satellite radio, whenever I knew I was getting in dark places. Nose itches. Let's see. Quick hit. Good morning. I love my job, but I haven't figured out what my game plan will be moving forward. I live in my truck, no kids, no family, no wife. Rusian, yeah, I mean, it might take you a little bit to figure it out. Um, figure out where you want to live and create roots. You can't be a strong tree if you don't create some roots. You're pretty much living a nomadic lifestyle, and that works for some people. That's what they want. This job is perfect. If you can either be a truck driver or a carny, I think this makes a little bit more money. But yeah, I mean, some people enjoy that nomadic lifestyle, and I enjoy it to a degree, but I do like having my roots. As I've gotten older, the roots become more important. Got to get on the road, so I'll be listening as I go. All right, nomadic Brit. Shannon's waving. Psalms 42:11, dealing with depression. There you go. Mr. Mallory's trying to help everybody out with the Bible verse. Excited strategy requires building retirement funds as part of your daily monthly costs. And we're dealing in a world where a lot of people aren't even thinking about retirement because we're surviving to just eat. When you look at the inflation and all that. Need to handle this texture real quick. An exit strategy can be paid off equipment equals working 8-9 months a year, and that's definitely the direction I went to. Is the man? I'm popular this morning. Is the ability to have control. If you have $250,000 in equipment and about $10,000 of bills at home, you don't have any control. I don't care who you are. If you're out here in the spot market as a truck driver, those expenses, that debt, they control you. If you have a handle on your expenses, and you've kept them low, it gives you the opportunity for more balance. It's as simple as that. And when you have balance, you can have clarity of mind. And then that's when your plans come into play. That's when you have the ability to learn, and I mean, what good are all these plans if you can't even run across the street if needed in an emergency? So, I mean, it's, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, financial health. Those are all things necessary in this world that we live in, this dystopian universe that we've created. So, now, what's interesting is I know people that being an owner operator is their retirement plan. I know exactly two people that are doing that. Is, you know what? I've worked a long time in the trucking industry. I'm going to become an owner operator and just be leisurely. Husband is retired. I'm still working to bolster out our retirement savings. There's no way I can find the 9 to 5 at home making the money I do with trucking. And Lacey, you've got the right mindset. You definitely have a different perspective of things. I thought your husband was getting on the truck with you at one point. And they are. I'm pretty sure that James Best could not live the life that he has if his expenses were pretty high. Big Rig CO. What's up, Steve? Good morning, everyone. If you evaluate being an owner-operator versus company driver with benefits and a pension could be better financially than owner-operator. Most go owner-operator for freedom to drive what you want and work when you want. Review big picture. Talking the language here. Do you guys want the link out there? We can only go another 20 minutes. Then I've got to make some phone calls. I got to get to booking some trucks. I started booking a reefer truck yesterday. That's why I had a Colorado Bulldog yesterday. Holy moly. Definitely don't want to be booking at the last minute. That's for sure. That is. Ugh. It was, it was sprung on me. That's why it's booked last minute. So calm down, James. The guy calls me up. Hey, I think I'm going to start using you. I'm empty at this place, and let me know what you find. Like, but we made it happen. But it took a little bit of work, and in both van and reefer, I'm seeing a ton of these loads picking up at 3 and 5 and 8, 9 o'clock at night. And the problem I was running into, I called on one load. It was 700 miles loaded. Picks up at 4 o'clock in the evening and delivers the next day at 7 a.m. Does anybody else see a problem with that? Or it was either that, or it was picks up at 4 p.m. tonight and delivers at 5 p.m. tomorrow, and it's 200 miles. Anybody see a problem with that? There was one that was 2-day transit on 400 miles. Or it picks up Monday morning and delivers Wednesday evening, 500 miles. And so a lot of that is the store, the big box stores, DC's scheduling. But, I don't get it. The incompetence is insane. Preacher complaint on our way back to Salt Lake, listening in the background, stay safe, confident in your abilities. There you go. That's a good message. Like CCO come in. Well, you may not want to come in, James. What's up? You think that drivers have it made today with better equipment and APU in trucks, but back in the 80s, no APU, no cell phones, not as much distraction. Makes me wonder. John, exactly. I remember I had to do a 34 in Cheyenne. Do you know what's in Cheyenne at the Flying J? Nothing. I called the wife up and said, I'm buying a TV. I bought one of them TV combo DVD player things back when you could still get air signals that weren't digital, and bought a couple of DVDs. And that's how we killed my time, that and a book, because he didn't have the internet at that time. I mean, he did, but, not mobilely. It was something that you had on your computer. Yes. So it's not just me. Everybody else is dealing with it too, because the driver I was dispatching for, I call him up. I'm like, dude. He's like, yeah, I know. Okay, so it's not me. I thought maybe I was going crazy. I'm like, yeah, this is in the low volumes. Holy moly. It took me, look, it takes a lot to take me by surprise. And even I was like, wow, okay, this is what we're doing today. So, hubby is busy working on our ranch. We raise cattle on several acres. He works more since he's retired. Busy onboarding contract. Congratulations, Big Rig CO, for bringing on a new contractor. That's good deal. It's good. It's a good deal, man. James, Big Rig CO, is the reason why I'm an owner operator. I blame him and the wife. I blame those two. And he's the one that said, you either work for the man or you are the man. And then he started telling me about his buddy at Landstar. And I thought, you could be an owner operator and choose where you go? Sign me up. Of course, I had to convince the wife. And, that was back in 2014. I made that move, and here we are. So it's been a hell of a ride so far. It's still going, right? But yeah, he is, look, it goes back to this. Don't network with idiots. My wife says that all the time. Network with people that are successful. Once I was able to convince James to go to Schneider as an IC, he took to that exactly like I knew he would. And he did very well there, to the point that, he joined the spot market, did that for 6 months at SRO Logistics, and then got his own authority. And now he's signing on his first contractor in a separate truck, mind you. So, because before he was just in his truck, but that is what 5-year plans look like. That is what success looks like. And I have James to thank for everything. Stuart, what's up? You mentioned health. A 30-minute break could be time to walk for 20 minutes or 15, 20 if some of the weight or bands is set. The bands, definitely. I had resistance bands. They're probably kind of faded by now in the truck. And then a gallon of water is 8 pounds, right? So you can use that driving down the road as a weight. Move your feet. I like to pretend I'm playing double bass on the drums, with my feet. While I'm driving, keeps your blood flowing. And if you have a dog in the truck, that's a good motivation to stop the truck. Don't be that guy that has a little rat dog and then lowers him with the leash from inside the truck, lets him pee, and then brings him back up. I've actually physically seen that. You got to be kidding me, dude. Meanwhile, the dog's 50 pounds overweight, and it's a Chihuahua, and the driver's 50 pounds from a heart attack. So it's getting out and physically moving is, but yes, it can be done. There's been a few YouTubers that have talked about health on the road. You can't use, well, I'm a truck driver, so I can't be healthy as an excuse. That's the harsh truth. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I'll get healthy when I get off the road. You know, I got healthy on the road. It can be done. I lost my weight as a truck driver. LOL. Didn't network with don't network with idiots. You like that, Pigtail? I should take that note of not networking with idiots. Oh, Stuart. Stuart, you'll figure it out. It can be done, CDN. I've recently focused on those changes and making it happen. Resistance bands, walking extra, floor exercise with body weight, and extra thick yoga mat in parking lot. Yeah. What about the parking lot yoga mat? But yeah, you definitely can make it work. Look, there's like chair exercises you can do that can be done in front of your bunk. There is weights, kettlebells that you can use. There's definitely ways to do it, but start small. 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day, consistently for 30 days, and see if that doesn't change your life a little bit, right? And then you got to change your diet. That's the number one thing, even more than exercise, is changing your diet first. There's a good shirt. Don't network with idiots. That I might make that a shirt. I can create as many um, designs as I want on Teespring. So yeah, don't network with idiots. Fine, don't call me then. Sage has been helping me with the YouTube channel, so him and CDM both. So still don't have my green screen yet, but I'm ordering it probably today or tomorrow. Taking it as a broker agent for 15 plus years, even if I was able to get to be a sales rep or work as an employee, if financially better for me, tough to leave the flexibility to work for the man. Well, you're in a unique situation where you have control of what you do. I mean, you can be an employee and have control of what you do. And in some ways, I'm an employee. I'm safety manager at Like Trucking, so that's an employee status. But Jeff primarily, you know, lets me control things. You know, and man, YouTube is very active. Um, it's about control. You know, You know, you know, you might get a job that you can work from home. You have flexibility. I mean, that would be ideal. But I've always had, well, not always, but I've developed an entrepreneurial spirit that I want to create. It's my creative side that wants to create and make that a business. And since I'm not that great of a guitar player, I can't do it there. So I've had I'm not an artist, but I have a knack for talking to a bunch of people on YouTube, and I have a knack for talking to people. I have a knack for dealing with drivers and their emotional moments, and so it makes me a shoe-in for the position that I have here. And then the dispatch, it allows me, I can read a room, I can figure out what people are doing wrong or what their challenges are, both mentally and financially. I mean, I take a lot of things into account when dispatching, and I'm not the guy that's going to yell back at you unless you yell at me first. I'm respectful as long as you don't disrespect me. And I've only had one driver really give me a little bit of grief, and that person's no longer in business. So there's a definitely a mentality that you have to have. And my wife said that back when she convinced me that I can buy a truck, she's like, you'd make a great truck boss. And I was a trainer. People I trained did very well for themselves. One's a safety director over at another company. Um, the others have done well and are still driving. So I mean, I think that if I can make this a positive as much as positivity as I can. I think that's my intention. And if I make a couple of bucks doing it, then that's great too. There's there's a lot of elements to it. You know, it's all perspective. And but if you want to change the industry, if you want to change the world, you have to start with yourself. It's as simple as that. And if every single person in this world started with themselves, probably would have some progress on not creating a dystopian universe that we seem to be living in. I got a green screen to have, takes a lot of room. I'm getting a roll up. Now I'm getting a roll up one that, you know, can just, you know, because there's too much stuff in this dining room. Management, owner, 80%, still drive 20%. There you go. Pigtails got it figured out. He's got that balance figured out. So you can go deer hunting. Exactly. You see Ozzy perform the other day with Tony at Black Sabbath? No, I did not see that. I didn't know Ozzy was still capable of performing live. 10 push-ups, 10 jumping jacks, 10 air squats or jump squats, 5 lunges per leg, 5 burpees, plank 30 seconds, repeat 5 rounds, then do push-ups to failure. No weights required equals 12, 15 minutes. There you go. I found some really good 12 to 15 minute workouts that the wife and I have been doing every morning. Although we didn't work out this morning. We did, well, we'll go into that. So, anyways, guys, I think we're close to the end here. It's a shorty, but hey, you know, and it's not all low board, Mr. Thomas Wilson. It's not all low board stuff, but we can check load ratios if you want. Let's do that. Check load ratios first for a minute so you can see where to position your truck, if you so desire. There you go. This is for reefer. Don't go to Alaska. Alabama. These numbers. California, 819 in, 816 out. Unbelievable. These numbers are freaking me out. 128 in Delaware. Florida, 1602. Guys, you ain't going to make squat. You might as well just deadhead out of Florida. 1,600 going in and 123 reefer loads coming out. Georgia is upside down. Iowa's good. Illinois is good. Indiana's good. Indiana's great. Illinois is even better. 743 in, 1368 out. Avoid Louisiana, Massachusetts. Maryland's about even, but kind of sucks to drive there. Maine, more loads coming out than in, but you definitely want to book ahead. Michigan's ratio is pretty good. Minnesota's good. Missouri's good. Nebraska's okay. New Jersey is, look at that, 395 in and 856 out. 677 out for New York, 450 in. North Dakota, 2752. Yeah, the ratio is good, but the volumes are not that great. Dark blue is what you want. Look at Texas, 1349, 903 in. So that's reefer. Let's look at van. Doink, doink, doink. A lot more volume in van. California is a little bit better, but not much. Georgia's flipped a little bit. Florida, 2460 in, 2480, 677 out. So you might be able to find a load out of Florida for a van, but it ain't going to pay nothing. Look at Illinois, 1433 in, 2554 out. If you run the short game, that's the place to be. Maine looks good. Michigan looks good. Minnesota looks good. Missouri's always good. I've yet to see a down market in Missouri. New Jersey. Now, the short game might disappear out of Missouri. I've seen that, but New Jersey, 654 in, 1505 out. So these brokers pushing low rates out of Jersey, don't let them do that. Pennsylvania, 1464 in, 2234 out. Texas, 3685 in, 2500 out. So these brokers that aren't paying to go into Texas, you need to educate them. Wisconsin, 755 in, 1508 out. So there's your ratios. And then let me do this here. Let's do 1, 2, 3 real quick. I got to do this. So let's see. Load availability, density map. All right, share screen. Doink, doink, doink. There you go. There's the 1, 2, 3. This is for all the trailer types. And this is for van. Apply. That's van. Green is good. Red is horrible. Yellow is okay. And then let's do reefer. Apply. There's a reefer. I haven't figured out quite what's going on in New Mexico yet. I don't think pumpkins are starting yet, are they? Let's see. And then let's do flatbed. Let's do power only. That's interesting. Arizona, Utah, Colorado are green on power only. And then flatbed. Step deck. We'll lump them together. Apply. There you go. There's flatbed. Flatbed loads have definitely decreased. There's that. So if you're thinking about switching to flatbed, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. So an open window, press control and scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in or out. Huh. Sounds like they'll go south of 44. No, I mean, there's still some money to be made southeast, but Midwest is where it's at. It's where it's always been at. Let me try that. Sterling. I'm going to try that. You're going to screw me up, though, right? Share screen. Let's see if we can. So on an open window, press control and scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in. Control. Dude. How do I center it, though? Oh, now I'm scrolling. That's cool. I mean, I can't center worth a darn. So let's do this. Let's see if we can do it here. Wow. Jeff said you can't zoom in on StreamYard. Dude. Man, you learn something new every day. Look at that. Hey, Jeff, if you're watching, look, you can zoom in on StreamYard. Look at that. Sterling, you the man. You the man. Good morning, Bob. How are you? Anyways, I'm going to get off here. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. Let's see. One more comment. Hold the mouse and move screen or slide window bar at the bottom. There you go. Learn something new every day. So now we can zoom in. This is a whole different ball game now. But Cool. I'm computer illiterate, just letting you guys know. So thank you for that information. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys figure it out. You know, and that's what you got to do. Balance, figure it out, have a plan, create a plan. You know, if you don't have a plan right now, don't beat yourself up. Don't 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 freak out. Don't let anxiety be the best of you. Just think of options. Writing it down on paper is a huge help on what what you want to do. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Um, I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate my members, and have a good day. So, and I'll leave CDN here with his comment. Great chat today. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out, and if you want to donate to the channel, um, that's great. There's how you can do it, and then there's also the Teespring store you'll see on the deal. If you want this beautiful logo on a shirt, or I don't have hats. I'm not that awesome. I don't have hats, so I'm a loser in the hat world. But that being said, thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will leave you with this: strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Peace.